Welcome to Operation Healing Heroes. Join me in the boat today as we feature retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Todd Berge.
They served for us. They sacrificed for us. Their stories deserve to be told. Every military veteran has a story to tell. Join our host, Jay Garstecki, as we honor the stories of our true American heroes, one soldier at a time. The mission today is Operation Healing Heroes. Brought to you by Great Clips. Landing at Maury Field Airport in Middleton, Wisconsin, is retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Todd Berge. Not only did Todd become a fighter pilot, but he flew and later became an instructor of one of America's most prestigious aircraft, the B-2 stealth bomber. Join us today as Todd recounts his amazing story.
So I started thinking about the military, probably I think in about third grade. There was a show in the 70s called Baba Black Sheep, and it was about fighter pilots in World War II in the Pacific. And I remember just going, I want to be a fighter pilot someday. You know, I would play on the swings and pretend that we were being pilots. And then in high school, especially after Top Gun came out, I remember telling my friends and teachers, yep, I'm going to go to the Air Force, I'm going to be a fighter pilot. And they would, oh, Berge, you're not going to be a pilot, knock that off, you know. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do it, you wait and see. And I'll still go back to Colfax these days and I'll see some of these older people, I haven't seen them in maybe years, and they're like, I remember you telling me you were going to be a pilot, and by golly, you did it.
Hey, Todd, how's it going, buddy?
Jay, so good to see you.
Too, man. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. You look great.
You do too. You ready to go do some fishing?
You know, I am ready to go fishing, but before we do that, I want to take you up in my buddy Bruce's airplane right here.
No way.
Oh, you're going to have a great time.
Are you serious?
From runway 10 more traffic.
Here we go.
All right, let's do this.
It was quite a thrill for Jay to fly in this one-of-a-kind aircraft, which took Bruce 5 years to build.
Oh, this is awesome. Oh, man.
So back in high school when, I always knew what I wanted to do, but how do you do it? How do you become a pilot in the Air Force? And I had some great mentors and people that helped me out and supported me, my parents for sure. We applied for the academies and, for different ROTC schools and stuff like that. And I got accepted into the University of Wisconsin-Madison and then started out in ROTC there. My parents actually pushed me to get my private pilot's license when I was 19. And again, I give them all the credit for that. We didn't have a ton of money, and that's not cheap, getting your private pilot's license. But, through me working and they just helping me out, they sacrificed a lot in helping me do that. Because of my parents and getting that private pilot's license, I ended up being one of 100 people in the nation to get a pilot slot out of ROTC for that year.
Anybody who says we don't live in the greatest country in America is absolutely insane, because how cool is this to be able to do this?
Oh, just the freedom to fly, yes,
That's
absolutely.
what I mean. This is amazing.
Yeah, we're blessed.
Wow, great job. That is so cool. So cool. Thank you again, man. That was so much fun.
Oh, you're welcome, man. My pleasure.
So you got me up in that airplane, and now I'm happy to have you out where I'm a little bit more comfortable out here fishing. So tell me what flight school was like. Was it as difficult as it's portrayed on TV? And
They even told us this is like as intense as any, getting a year of being a lawyer, doctor, any kind of training that you can think of. Maybe not like it's not like physical, like becoming a ranger or something like that, or SEAL. But as far as just intense and what's expected of you and all that in both academic and then in a flying environment, it's as difficult as anything that you'll find out there in the world. And I can attest to that. It truly was. Really, for that full year, you kind of feel like you're going to throw up at any 1 minute because you just got butterflies in your stomach all the time.
Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Great Clips, the Yance Valor Foundation, and by the Al Lynch Foundation.
Operation Healing Heroes is a nonprofit organization dedicated to documenting the lives of our U.S. military veterans. In addition, we also provide financial support and treatment for post-traumatic stress. Your donation will help heal our heroes.
After completing flight school, the next step for the young aspiring fighter pilot was getting his wings.
So when did you finally actually get your wings?
So it is truly like exactly a year from your start date. It was March 17th of 1994. To finally get those wings, you know, it's a piece of metal, but what it represents, again, it still gives me goosebumps to this day thinking about that night, because you work really hard for it.
So why did you pick the A-10?
Oh yeah, great question, Jay. The Air Force sends out this list of, you know, hey, this is your 44 planes for your 44 guys and girls. And I knew that I was pretty high. Wasn't number one, but was picking pretty high. And I knew outside of the F-15, which we only had one of, I knew I could pretty much have my pick of airplanes. I was kind of leaning towards the B-1, it looked pretty cool, and the C-17 was brand new. It was a brand new airplane. My flight commander from T-37s, who was an A-10 pilot, called up the flight room, and we were in different buildings at this point. Lieutenant Berge, you're gonna take the A-10, right? I'm like, well, sir, I don't know. I don't think so. Lieutenant Berge, you are going to take the A-10, right? Well, sir, I don't know. And this went on for an entire day. He put the screws to me, had me call other guys that he flew with, and hey, call this guy, and he's going to tell you how great the A-10 is. And you're going to take the A-10, right? Yes, sir, I'm going to take the A-10. And I certainly am so happy he pushed me to do that, because the A-10 is the most wonderful airplane in the world.
When did you actually first get to use your training?
Well, you are, of course, all the time when you're doing you know, these combat sorties over there. I did a total of 22 Operation Southern Watch combat sorties, and those are flying the no-fly zone, if you remember that. And one particular mission that I remember is we had our intel brief, and this was the second deployment. I was a flight lead at this time, so a little bit more experienced, and they're like, hey, we have this surface-to-air missile that we can't locate. It was over here yesterday, and now it's gone. And we think it's over here, but we don't know. Well, over here was where we were flying that day, in our container that we were patrolling. Sure enough, we're in that container, and all of a sudden, I get this indication that this missile was locked up on me. It was in what's called the launch mode. So, because there's different modes that they do. Hey, they were just trying to find you, but they had me, and they had me locked up. And it was neat in hindsight that, you know, I got this indication, and you know, I made the right radio call to my wingman, and we both did this maneuver. And, you know, bottom line is, the missile, I don't even think they fired it at us. If they did, it went stupid, but it wasn't like I got shot down or anything. It wasn't that exciting, but it was exciting in the moment. And it was neat when we get back on the ground to go, hey, I actually did everything right. If that missile would have come up at us, we would have a pretty good chance of evading it, because, again, the Air Force is so good at training their pilots. And I think that is what makes us different than any other nation, is we just got such great training that we're going to do the right things more often than not.
What did your wife and child feel like when you had to go deploy for the first time?
Yeah, that was it was really hard. You know, my wife was so supportive of me in pilot training and whatnot, but now, you know, I was essentially coming home every night, but now I'm gone, right? Like now I'm gone for 4 months, and now we have 2 kids. I think it's probably more difficult for them than it is even for us, because, you know, we signed up for it. I want to do this, right? My daughter doesn't want daddy to go away. My wife doesn't want her husband to go away. My youngest, I came home and she didn't want to go. She didn't remember me, you know.
Really?
And then, you know, after an hour or two, she was fine, and she was only like 1.5. But that was tough, you know, when you come home and your little baby daughter doesn't really want to go to you.
Recognize you, yeah.
That was tough.
Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Great Clips, Power Pole, and by St. Croix Rods.
Yeah, if you want to somebody sit in the side seat, like I said, that would be a good angle to just move that stuff in the back, and it's got to be ready to make sure you're built in. The boss will give you his flight attendant brief here in a second.
If you'd like to see more behind-the-scenes footage, follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're a U.S. military veteran in Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, or beautiful sunny Florida, log on to our website, takeavetfishing.org, to find an event near you. So you flew 22 sorties in the A-10. How do you wind up becoming a B-2 pilot, and after that, even then, a B-2 instructor?
Yeah, so I flew 22 combat sorties in the A-10, and I remember it was during my second deployment. You're over there, and you know, the Air Force never lets you really be comfortable in anything, and that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
You're always sharpening that sword.
Yeah.
Yourself being the sword, and you're always pushing yourself to do something different. And I remember my boss coming in, "Hey, Captain Berge, it's time. You're gonna have to get a new assignment." And I'm just getting good at this. I actually can go up and use my tool, the A-10, correctly, and not have my hair on fire the whole time. Back then, you could go on the internet. They had this thing that you could look for assignments, and I'm looking at it and like, well, geez, you know, what am I gonna do? And yeah, it was tough on the family life and all that, being deployed. And I thought, well, this ad came up. It's not really an ad, but hey, we're looking for applicants for this special program called the B-2 Stealth Bomber. So I did. I had to make this, you know, this is kind of like a job interview almost, right? You have to send in your resume. And we got back and from the deployment, and sure enough, I get a phone call, and hey, we'd like you to come out to Whiteman Air Force Base and interview for this special assignment. You got interviewed by the wing commander, who was a one-star general, and the ops group commander. And then they threw you in the simulator. You have no idea what you're doing, right? And you go up and you air refuel and do some other things. But everybody, you're on an equal playing field, because nobody in this interview group has done that. And it turns out that I guess I made the cut because I was chosen for the B-2 program.
So didn't you fly a combat mission in the B-2 in the Second Gulf War?
Yeah, I sure did. It was in 2003. Again, Second Gulf War. I was a pretty experienced B-2 pilot by that time, so I got to fly early on in that conflict. I was Night 4. And we took off from Whiteman Air Force Base, a two-ship of B-2s. Unfortunately, our wingman, we were the lead, our wingman had a problem and had to turn around and go back to Whiteman. So we went by ourselves all the way over to Iraq, delivered weapons, and came back, all without stopping. It ended up being a 36.4-hour mission. You know, most times when you're flying combat, you deploy, right? When I was in the A-10, I deployed to Kuwait and then flew combat missions over Iraq. Well, in the B-2, we literally took off from Whiteman Air Force Base, flew all the way over, and flew all the way back. So it's very unique that you know, okay, I'm gonna fly, I have to report at this time to start my mission planning and whatnot. So you literally like kiss your wife and kids goodbye and go, I'll be back home in 2-ish days, hopefully. And my daughters were 9 and 7 at the time, and so they don't really understand what's going on. Hey, you know, Daddy's gonna go fight the bad man, but I'll be back in 2 days.
Muskie Mission Complete seeks to give veterans the opportunity to make lifelong friends, to heal the heart and soul by fishing, and to develop the skills needed to fish at home.
If you'd like to personally thank a veteran that you've seen in one of our episodes or nominate a veteran to be featured in a future episode, log on to our website, operationhealingheroes.org.
Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Recon Boats, Thorne Brothers, and by FVP. Flying in Bruce's bubble canopy airplane brought back memories of the A-10 for Todd Berge.
Ooh, I miss this.
Yeah.
I like this. The canopy, the bubble canopy. Oh my God.
Isn't that visibility something?
Oh, Bruce, this is killing me. Killing me.
Entering downwind for 36 on the 45. More traffic.
Well, it's tough for you probably to see over, but would you like to take the stick and see what it feels like?
Of course I would.
All righty, she's all yours.
I have the airplane.
Your airplane.
Oh, this is great. Oh my gosh, it's nice and responsive.
Yeah.
You can take the boy out of the Air Force, but you can't take the Air Force out of the boy. Todd wanted to pull some G's.
All right, how about a 3G turn? Are you up for that?
All right, let's do it.
You sure?
Yep.
All right. What are we at?
We're at 2.7. And there you go.
All right. 3 G's, baby. Did you pull any G's with Jay?
No, I didn't. I took it very easy on him. I offered to let him fly, and he didn't want to.
What?
He turned it down. Yeah.
Jay.
Turned it down. But, you know, he wanted to look out the window, so I understand.
That's fine.
I understand that.
And if you want to take her back, you can take control of her again. And,
All right, my airplane.
Your airplane.
Thank you.
More traffic, 5 Jacob opportunity final, 10 Maury.
Todd logged more than 1,000 hours over 10 years flying the B-2 stealth bomber. Retiring as an Air Force lieutenant colonel, it was time for Todd to move on.
I applied to be a commander for an ROTC unit, and there were some family reasons why I did that. And sure enough, I got selected for the University of Wisconsin-Madison to be the commander there, and it was just the best job in the world. Like, you know, I did all this kind of cool stuff in the A-10 and the B-2, but I want to say that my most favorite job was being the commander here. Just you kind of give back, right? And I still remember my commander and the impact that he had on me. And I made sure that I had a positive impact on my cadets. I just loved it more than anything. And I think I really had some impact on future generations.
So you actually came full circle.
Full circle, right? And that does not happen very often.
Right.
I mean, there is very few officers that, and not everybody wants to do that either, you know. And for me, there was reasons that I wanted to do that, and it worked out perfectly. It was a great career. I could not have asked for anything more. Yeah, so I retired after 20 years. I did 20 years in the Air Force, and I had over 3,000 hours in, you know, the various airplanes that I got to fly. You know, I still had the flying bug in me, and I had a friend who flew F-16s here in Madison, and he knew this guy who was looking for a pilot, right? I know a friend of a friend of a friend, and sure enough, was like, hey, I'm like, well, that sounds like a pretty good job. Flying a business jet, the one behind me here. And I went over and met my future bosses, and they're wonderful people. And I said, sign me up, I'll do it. And so that's why I'm flying this wonderful piece of machinery behind me. I can't imagine doing really anything else. I've done other things and I can do them, but you know, there's just a certain amount of satisfaction that you get from flying it's tough to get doing other things.
Well, on behalf of Operation Healing Heroes, I want to say thank you for your service, sacrifice to our country, your families. It's a custom Thorne Brothers muskie rod for you.
Wow.
Maybe if you were using this earlier, we would actually landed that.
Yeah, we would have, for sure.
St. Croix rod, it says, in appreciation of your sacrifice and service, custom built for Todd Berge.
Oh my goodness.
9-foot muskie rod for you. Thank you so much. And you wouldn't look complete without your Operation Healing Heroes jersey. So we've got you a jersey here with your name, Todd, on the front, Berge on the back. And
well, I better wear that with
again,
the rod and,
thank you so much,
catch
brother.
a muskie.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you and everything you guys do.
And you are the officially coolest guy I know. If you'd like to personally thank a veteran that you've seen in one of our episodes, or nominate a veteran to be featured in a future episode, log on to our website, operationhealingheroes.org, and click on the nominate button.